Hey, it's Christine. I have a very fun manifestation success story, one of my personal ones, on how even if you have doubts, as long as your dominant desire, thoughts are focused on what you truly want, then it will play out. And to also be determined on what you really want. I used to be so kind of wishy-washy about like what I wanted. Like, oh, it'd be nice to have this, but I felt like I would disappoint myself sometimes in the past. So I'd say, oh, it's okay if it doesn't work out perfectly the way that I wanted to, but if I do get this desire, then that would be great. And I would get all like kind of like I want it, but I don't. Like I was trying to let it go, but it was just making things like very unclear. And then the desire wouldn't manifest because my dominant thought was on, well, I don't know if it'll happen, you know? So here's what happened. One of my favorite comedians, Joe Coy, was coming to our city. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. And this was back in December. I realized that he was coming to Charlotte in March. So I was thinking about going. I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. So I looked at the price of tickets and I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot more than I expected. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna go, I want like really good seats. Like I want to be like close to the front. And they were like over $300 per ticket. So I was like, oh man, I don't know if I really want to spend that much on just a comedy show. So I just kind of let it be. And then March came around and I was like, you know what? Screw this. I do want to go. And I want to be in the third row. And I had just a real quick visual of me being in the third row, seeing and looking right up at the stage and seeing Joe Coy right there. I thought that would be so cool. However, I had doubts. I was like, oh my God, like third row tickets are going to be expensive. And I looked at like what tickets were left, and the closest was maybe like 12 rows from the front. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll settle for the 12th row. And even the 12th row was like close to $400 a ticket. I was like, no, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm getting third row tickets. That's what I want. And the other thing was I wanted my husband to come with me, and he has no idea who Joe Coy is. He's like, I don't really know this guy. I don't know if I really want to go, but if you want me to go, I'll go with you. Or if you want to go by yourself, that's fine too. So then I was contemplating, should I go by myself? Do I want him there? And I was like, no, I need to make a definite decision. We are being in the third row. He is coming. I want him to come with me, and we're going to have a great time. So I ended up finding a babysitter to watch my kids. That was first on the list. And I had to ask my mother-in-law, and she said, okay. So I was like, oh, definitely. If she says okay, then we're good to go because I don't even have to pay for a babysitter. So as soon as she said yes, I got online. I'm looking for tickets. And I was just about to get that 12th row seat when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I was just searching through a variety of websites that were selling tickets to this event. And there was one website that had two tickets left in the third row. I was like, and of course it was row C because the it went by like letters. So A was the first row, B was the second row, C was the third row. And I was like, oh, it's just a clear sign that I'm supposed to be there because C for Christine, third row. Ended up buying the tickets. They were way more than I expected to buy. I was a little freaked out, but I'm always in the state of I have plenty of money. Like I have plenty of money for the things that I want. And also stepping into the idea of, I'm just the type of person that gets third row seat treatment, like, kind of upscale. And it made me feel like even more like wealthy and abundant to make that big purchase because that's what I wanted. So we did end up going. It was last Friday. Me and my husband went. We were in the third row. We were actually on the left side. So we had aisle seats. It was perfect. And Joe Coy was like right there. And he can like make eye contact with us because we were kind of sitting on the aisle in the third row. We kind of stood out, I guess. So cool. So if you have a manifestation, just be determined. You are creating it all. You are the operant power. Like this is your life. If you want it and you want first class tickets or first row, or I didn't want to do first row because I felt like it would be like too much of an angle to look up at him. I was like, oh, third row should be good because then you don't have to look up too much. Otherwise, I'd get first row, but third row sounded the best to me. But yes, what is your heart's desire? Just go after it and decide like, no, I want this. This is how it's going to work. The money's going to be there because I want it or whatever it is. It's just happening because you want it. It's done. It's your dominant desire. It's happening. It's done. You already have it. Do a little visualization clip of the end result. Know that it's done. It's signed, sealed, delivered. It's yours. I love that song. So let me know. What desire are you planning out next? And how is it all going to play out? Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.